Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Romance 3 Kingdoms 11. I'm the Mysterious JG, and we are well on our way to conquering Wu. Tragic event in the last video was the death of Liu Bei. He was on a boat, motherfucker. I was kind of hoping that if he was leading a military unit, as odd as this sounds, I was hoping that meant that he wouldn't be able to die. He'd have to be in a city to die, because now I'm not sure. I believe the military unit he was commanding is just going to disappear completely. It's lost forever, unless he had another officer in the unit with him. I'm not sure. If he did and it's still around, then I'll always wonder if I hadn't given him another officer and he was leading the troops by himself, would he have been able to just die of natural causes? He clearly shouldn't have been leading a campaign at his age, but what are you gonna do, folks? Anyway, I was at a bit of a loss for who to put in his place, but as you can see, I really didn't have a choice. It has to be Liu Chan. You can pick somebody else. You're not forced to pick Liu Chan, but you know, I'm trying to play this vaguely along with the actual novel's history. I'm sort of using it as my guide. And yeah, Liu Chan was the one who took over. Now, of course, there wasn't really much of a choice. Liu Feng had been, who's Liu Bei's adopted son, had been executed. Liu Chan had other brothers, I believe, in history, who are not really talked about in the novel because they didn't take over after Liu Bei. And in like an actual history, the cadre of people who were formed around Liu Chan and had sort of attached their ambitions to him. I mean, Liu Chan was not a great leader, but there were people around him who would flourish as long as Liu Chan was in power, because they had Liu Chan's ear, and they sort of made sure that Liu Chan took over. And Liu Chan was the eldest of Liu Bei's biological children, so he was pretty much the one who has to take over. He's an awful, awful officer, completely useless officer. But I believe the order in which they listed the possible choices there. Now, we had created characters were all at the bottom, including Jing Tsai, who, you know, as Bobo the Vulture pointed out, when you know, he kind of talked to him about this a little bit, he was kind of surprised that Jing Tsai was at the bottom of the list, and then it occurred to him, oh yeah, she's a created character. She's not actually in the game as Jing Tsai. But I think the farther you go down on the list, the more officers you're going to lose who are going to leave your force, because you always are going to lose some officers when your ruler dies, because people are going to be like, I pledged to serve Liu Bei, I'm not serving this guy. You'd think with Liu Shan that would be a lot, because he's such an awful officer, such a low charisma score, but you know, we only lost like 4 officers, and none of them were like big named officers that I remember. At least it only pointed out 4 officers to me. Maybe there were other ones who left also, but and it only pointed out District 1 officers or something. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping my force is pretty much intact. But we're going to find out, I suppose, as we play on, whether Liu Shan taking over is going to be a real big difference maker in this LP. Come on, game, please load. I don't want to. I've been getting up and down and back and forth setting stuff up. I really just want to sit down and play, and I have to go adjust my PlayStation again. Doesn't look like it's going to load on its own. Crap. Alright, hold on. Please give us your orders. Okay, back. Okay, back. Folks. Okay, folks, I'm back. As I was saying before, I had to cut some of the video out here. So welcome back to Let's Play Romancer 3 Kingdoms 11. I'm Mysterious JG, and in the last video, Liu Bei died. Liu Chan's now taken over. I'm not happy about that one little bit, but it seems so fucking close. It'd be really, really tempting for me to actually reset and load in a slightly earlier state and see if we can avoid having that happen, but that would obviously be cheating. Now we got Huang Ying. Is there any? Zhao Yun, Zhang Fei, Liu Hua. What kind of troops is Liu Hua's unit got it at 8,000? This would look suspiciously like Liu Bei's archer unit. Yeah, he was in the unit with Liu Bei, and now he's taken over. So the whole unit hasn't been lost, but he can only command 8,000 troops. Liu Bei was probably commanding close to 18,000. So all the troops, all those other troops are now gone from the unit. I guess they just deserted, which sucks a lot. I'm not happy at all with how this just came out. Oh, damn it. Han Sui really needed to take over there, too. He needed to take over on this turn because he's out of food. I wanted him to take all the food out of this place. Yeah, so this isn't going very well. I'm really not happy with how that last video turned out, but... well, we've still got a job to do. Damn it! Still haven't taken over this port? Fuck. Alright, Zhao Yun, you I guess will have to take over. And you can give some of your food to Han Sui's unit when they... I'll have Han Sui's unit go in, then I'll have them both deploy and make sure that there's enough food for both of them. That'll be fine. Deng Feng is captured. He wants him to surrender. Save your dream before you sleep. So he's going into prison. That's fine. My joie de vivre for this game has really taken a hit with the death of Liu Bei. Not a huge Liu Bei worshipper or anything like that, but winning the game and unifying China under Liu Bei is a lot cooler than winning the game and unifying China under Liu Chan. That being said, now had Liu Bei lasted another 5 or 6 turns and I completely unified the land, and the game was over and he was still alive, we would all still know that he was probably months away from death and Liu Shan would inherit unified China. That was never going to change, but I'd still feel a lot better about this LP if I'd managed to prevent that from happening. Oh well. Alright, well the force fields are down, but not completely down actually. We've still got a fort that we can't get to from the water. That's going to continue to be a problem. I'm thinking now that when these guys take this city, they're going to have to head northwest towards Jianye, which could well be the last city to fall. If I stop taking all my action points and domestic stuff and just concentrate on making the turns as quick as possible, I'd probably be like maybe 2 videos away from ending this whole thing now. I don't know. There really isn't a whole lot left that can be done. Now it's our ship's turn. Boom. Fuck him up, fuck him up, fuck him up. Yes, damn serious. Mr. Serious. Etc. Crossbows now! Not going to make it easy here. I should consider landing them here and marching, but it's through like forest instead. It would take a little while. You, in the meantime, Ma Chao, could... No, you could set fire to the city. Fire stratagem, folks. Extinguish those flames immediately. Yeah, you guys are... I'm not going to take that city, but I didn't mention its hit points, though. That city is going to fall when the last troop is eliminated, most likely. Alright, Zhuge Liang. Or Zhangliang, pardon me. We are in range. It's awesomeness. 352. Okay, so now I get to basically pick who do I want to take the city. Don't really care about any of you guys. Sorry, I just don't. So let's have the cavalry unit take it because they won't be as affected by having to then redeploy and start marching up here. So wait, do any of you guys have a created officer in your Jiao Ba Dynasty Warrior 7 fame? Is in there. You have a prisoner that you could force him to watch. You could laugh evilly as you conquer the city. It's like, how do you like that? Watching from your cage guard as I conquer your city, mwah! Sort of thing. Huang Zhang, the Dream Changer. Murderer of Zhihao Yuan. He's in there by himself. Alright, well, it doesn't really matter. Let's have you do it. Woo, capture! Shang Gang Dang Bang's unit is captured. Woo. And his leader's now 91. We captured Zhuji. Zhang Yui and Wen Wei Zhao. They're not switching allegiances or anything like that because they're too badass, so we're going to imprison them. And the rest of you guys can start marching back up this way. Because I think they're going to need more help up there than they are down in the south. And if I'm wrong about that, oh well. This city, in the meantime, I'm not going to stop to rebuild. Even my patience with that has its limits. I don't know where Sun Quan ended up, Huaji or probably Jiang Ye, but either way he won't get there at this turn. There are still units who haven't moved yet. Let's see. Lisi is like a transport unit from another district who's been on a long march. Oh, Guan Yu's unit. That's right, I specifically made sure that I had one unit ready to deploy on land here. Or did I? No, there's Guan Yu. Oh, but I still have units ready to move, so... Okay, we see again. Wei Yan's unit. Oh yeah, I know where they are. Okay. And that's right, this little embarrassing episode up here where I let them retake one of their old facilities. I should never have allowed them to retake this, but I did. How can I get through these action points quickly? Because I've hit the point where we really don't care. Well, that's one fast way to do it. I rewarded every officer in the frickin' universe. That took tons of gold and all my action points instantly. Nice. That's actually not something I mind right now. Okay. Well, we know there's going to be more fighting up here, but I'm actually more interested in how they're going to deploy down here to try to stop this. This is probably the city that Sun Quan is trying to retreat to. Wang Ling has successfully employed Yuan Hawan. I have the honor of hanging out. They couldn't hire these guys because when they went out and told them they were going to go work for Liu Bei, the guys were initially interested. Then the word came during the interview that Liu Bei was dead and they were going to work for his son. And suddenly everybody was like, fuck that. Okay, settings. 140 days worth of food, which will leave the base with nothing, so let's cut that back to 80 days worth of food. And vessels, bring that warship along with us. No reason to leave that behind. These guys do not appear to have deployed anything to fight us with. So it looks like Sun Quan's going to make his last stand up in that city to the north, oddly enough. There's this unit that used to have Liu Bei in it. Sadly, they march along now without Liu Bei to guide them. Don't want them going into the port because I don't want to have to take the time to deploy them. And this city is pretty much going to fall anyway. They're not even bothering to deploy defenders because they know that they're basically ridiculously outnumbered. Kind of surprised at how smoothly that went. Had some real resistance, and still having real resistance up here, but basically, had some real resistance up here, but basically, Wu crumbled after that. Cease your advance, wait here. Oh, I don't have officer sounds on. I, Wang Zhang, the divine bows and whatever. I kick your ass, bitch. So let's get officer sounds back on. This might be our last chance to hear them. Actually, there's something else I need to get rolling here too. Be with you in just a second, folks. Oh, sorry. Sorry, just something I wanted to get going on my computer here. Okay. Darn it, pop-up ad on something I was opening up. It's gonna slow me down considerably. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back with it now. Alright. So I'm not going to slow down to redeploy any of these guys. I guess the cavalry units need to keep track of who I've got and what they're doing, and that's fine. I'm not too worried about the details right now. I just want to get this thing going. Who will I? Probably should have waited until after Brandon Alameda did his catapult attack to do that, actually, but those are swords. Yeah, I'm fighting swords now in their last city. I know I've mentioned this before, folks, but game's over. Yeah. They're not going to let me land here now. Oh, well, I didn't manage to quite take over anyway. You can't really get close enough to attack the city. The city's too high elevated. So I was gonna work my way through all of Ma Chao's will by setting fires repeatedly. Ooh, and now Pang Tong with a follow-up fire attack, and like, no, I wasn't prepared for this. We never expected the fire attack on our last city, second to last city. Sun Quan ended up fleeing down here, which isn't going to make a ton of difference either way, but oh yeah, Wei Yan's group up here, of course. You bastards. Fleeing in your boats like a bunch of cowards. Was I sending in a siege unit down here to help out? Yeah, Juggernaut unit, because you guys hadn't gotten a chance to see one of those yet. Doesn't look cool. It's like a little tiger tank kind of guy, like the ones that you see in Dynasty Warriors. It shoots flames at units that are right next to it. It uses will, just like a ram would, but yeah, I guess I can shoot arrows at these guys instead of at the port. Maybe the Juggernaut will have a chance to get there and do something. It's not going to make a huge difference either way. There's still some units who haven't moved. I'm surprised. What are we talking about now? Oh, Zhu Shu's unit probably. Not Zhu Shu. He is Zhu Shu. Yeah. But he's not the one who hasn't moved yet. Remember, I think I had ordered him to attack that Ember or whatever it was, so at least see again. It doesn't really count for us. Wang Kong. Alright, it's one of these guys. Alright, apparently I'd forgotten about him. He's not an archer unit, is he? No, so we can't do anything yet. It's probably not going quite as fast. I won't have as many guys to reward, but no, I've still got tons of people to reward. Oh, everybody's loyalty dropped considerably when Liu Bei died. Their loyalty to Liu Chan is much lower. That's what's going on. So shit, I'm gonna have to switch up cities, or I'm gonna go through all of my gold trying to stop my officers from defecting here at the last second. There's nowhere for them to defect to except to Wu, unless somebody starts a new kingdom, which would really piss me off at this point, because it would take me time to organize to defeat them. I would do it. It wouldn't be a real problem. It would just prolong the game when I'm pretty much ready to wrap it up. So it's end the turn here. Hopefully you guys will see the wisdom of just giving up at this point. The armies of Liu Shan, the great and mighty leader Liu Shan, is far too powerful to be stopped. Extinguish. Yes. Some sauce. So now they're just running around extinguishing fires as fast as they can. Let's go to Runan, where I haven't yet. See, Shaochun, I went through a lot of gold. Well, they still got plenty of gold there. Runan's got more gold. And it's still one of my cities. Order's down to 84, yikes. But I don't have time to deal with that. I've got to bribe my officers into liking Liu Shan. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. That makes a big difference. Damn it, Ganning, you're taking... Oh, he's got a Juggernaut unit. No wonder. He's moving a little bit slower. Guan Yu, Zhang Fei... No, that's Zhou Yun. This is pretty much the three brothers. Now that Liu Bei is dead, these are the three brothers. Didn't quite fall on that turn, which is fine, because I'd like to see one of these siege units get a chance to do something. Yeah, he can't do anything useful as an archer unit other than attack. Because Liu Bei was the one who had like the S archery skill and super badass power. And he's dead. And he died in a really... Wow. What were his final words in the novel? He wrote a letter to his sons. And it's something along the lines of... though a good deed be trifling, perform it all this... Yeah, though a good deed be trifling. Man, I should have grabbed the book and actually looked this up. But his final words are something along the lines of, though a good deed be trifling, perform it nonetheless. Though an evil seem irresistible, resist it all the same. Only through justice and humanity can you seek to win the hearts of men. And it was a pretty cool quote. And, you know, Cao Cao had a pretty badass quote, as I mentioned before. His last words were, you know, something along the lines of, you know, when one has offended heaven, to whom can he pray? Pretty badass. Liu Bei's last words are more about how justice and humanity are the only way to unify the land. Sun Jian's last words were basically on the lines of, do-do-do, holy shit, arrows! Oh! He wasn't really expecting the ambush that took his life. And there's, of course, a really, you know, pretty powerful scene in the novel where Liu Bei asks Zhuge Liang to take over Shu if his son turns out to be unfit to lead. And Zhuge Liang can't do it. He can't bring himself to do that because he feels like it would be a betrayal of his lord. And yeah, this is all stuff I should have been prepared with things to say about this. I should have gone back and reread the appropriate sections of the novel, but I didn't. So you'll just have to take my word for it. It is, you know, kind of emotional stuff. If you've been reading an entire lengthy novel where Liu Bei is the hero, even if it's an old style novel where the characters, they don't build the characters up through much with like description and dialogue as with just descriptions of what's actually happening. Still, by the time Liu Bei dies, you've been through so much with the character, you kind of want to see him, you know, succeed. And not only does he not succeed, but his idiot son takes over and ruins everything, which we will not allow to happen in this LP, folks. Nonetheless, I'm saving the game because we're going to end it here. Wait. Well, this would be a little on the short side, I suppose. Shouldn't really end it here because I've got to factor in that I had time going and resetting the PlayStation and stuff that's on my sound file recording thing. But, you know, whatever. Here's Guan Lu. Guan Lu. He's, let's see what kind of an officer would be a good match for you. If I come up with Liu Chan, you need to kill yourself because you're obviously the most worthless human being ever. When we come back, folks, yeah, I'm thinking on the next video, we might just, maybe 2 videos. Pretty much in this sit-down recording session, I believe I'm going to unify the land. And I feel pretty rotten about the fact that it's not happening under Liu Bei. There's not a whole lot I can do about it, folks. Anyway, I hope you're still enjoying the LP, despite the death of that avatar of virtue, who was Zhuan Bei. And, you know, don't let his son ruin things with his idiocy too much. Hey, at least he got to marry Jing Tsai, you know, so that must have been doing something right. I suppose what he did right was being the son of Liu Bei, who got to therefore pick and choose whoever he wanted to marry. Anyway, we'll pick this thread up in the next one, I guess, folks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.